This is Papa Brad's Gaming coming at you with a review of the Legends Ultimate Arcade. Is it any good? Let's check it out. I have had the Legends Ultimate Arcade now for 3 years. I have two of them. I have an original model, which is 1.0 when they first came out. I got it when I saw P-Dubs do a review on it. Looked pretty awesome. I felt confident in purchasing the machine. I've not regretted having the 1.0 machine. Then I added a new model with the pinball buttons later. When I found one on sale at Sam's, I picked it up. Why does Papa Brad love the Legends Ultimate Arcade so much? Well, thousands of games work on it. That's a pretty good reason. The controls are good. That's another good reason. You got a spinner, you got a trackball. Are they the best of the best? No. Are they okay? Are they decent? Yes. Same thing with the buttons and the sticks. They're okay. They're better than Arcade 1-Up, not as good as an iiRcade. But the controls work and they're decent quality. And they're easy to replace. They're basically standard arcade controls. I mean, if you play games a lot like me, I've replaced buttons, they wear out. That's what you would do with a real arcade. That's what you do with the Legends Ultimate. It's the same thing. It's basically using, um, you know, real arcade parts. So good controls. Sound is medium. It's not great. The sound is not as good as an iiRcade, but it's generally about as good as some of the better Arcade 1-Ups. So I'd say the sound would get a medium, like a 6 out of 10. And that's not fantastic, but it's good enough for most people. Till you experience an iiRcade, you don't realize what having a stronger sound system is like in a stock home arcade. Stock games, they got some pretty good ones in there. They got some ones that I like. Just off the top of my head, the games that I really like, I play a lot of the stock games. I like Centipede. I like Burger Time. I like all the classic games that are in there. Missile Command. And then they have the ability to add games, which is another great benefit. I bought the Activision pack, added a ton of Atari games to the list. But you get 300 games, and for me, there's some good retro games in there. There are some good classic arcade games in there. And I think just the value, even with the stock games, it's worth it for the stock games. Once you add CoinOpsX, you get thousands of games. With the Bring Your Own Games feature, you can even play games like Commodore 64. I mean, it's as much as you want to get into emulation, it can do a lot, but you have to be willing to learn a lot as well. And, you know, AtGames to me is the NASA of the home arcade companies. You know, they're enabling you to tinker. If you want to get in there, get your hands dirty, learn how to get these games to run. There's a lot of good games you can get to run on the Legends Ultimate Arcade. One of the best things about the AtGames Legends Ultimate Arcade is that you can run CoinOps on it. And CoinOpsX allows you to pretty much play thousands of arcade games. Not all of them are perfect, but the sheer amount of games that you can try out makes it pretty much a must-own arcade. If you have a well-equipped arcade, you need to have a multi-cade that can play a lot of games. And the AtGames Legends Ultimate is certainly a very competent emulation machine. All you need is a USB stick, CoinOpsX, you're ready to go. First, I'd like to talk about the controls on the AtGames Legends Ultimate. I mean, you have good quality arcade controls. It has 2 joysticks, 2 spinners, a trackball, and even pinball buttons. The monitor is a high definition monitor. The AtGames Legends Ultimate has excellent black levels, and when you're playing a classic arcade game like Robotron, Galaga, or Pac-Man, having a good black level where the blacks are totally black makes all the difference in the world. The AtGames Legends Ultimate comes with 300 built-in games. And there's some great games on there. You got games like Centipede, Space Invaders, Burger Time. There's definitely lots to offer. I like the Atari games that are on there. There's some good retro games. There's some good arcades. You can also buy packs such as the Activision pack. For someone that loves retro games like me, you get a bunch of great Activision and Atari games in that pack that I just love those games. So having them on the Legends Ultimate is just a big win. Legends Ultimate is really, for me, is mainly an emulation machine. They do have ArcadeNet, which is an online streaming service that gives you access to 200 more games. But for me, I have not really gotten too into ArcadeNet. I just prefer to play online in other ways. I have other machines. One of the strengths of the Legends Ultimate Arcade is its connectivity. It easily hooks up to Wi-Fi or Ethernet, and you can do things like ArcadeNet. You can update it online. They have online multiplayer through ArcadeNet. They have global leaderboards, and you can even get downloadable content, which improves your arcade. Like recently, I bought the Activision games pack, which is fantastic if you like Atari games. The screen is really good on the AtGames Legends Ultimate. It has a 24-inch HD LCD display. The black levels are fantastic on the monitor, and that's a huge plus when you're playing classic arcade games like Robotron, Galaga, Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man. Anything that has a black background looks great on the Legends Ultimate Arcade. The machine has some internal storage, 16 gigabytes, and 7 pre-installed apps. Legends Ultimate also has the ability to play some pinball. It's not the ultimate way to play pinball, but the fact that you can play pinball on the arcade is very cool. They even give you pinball buttons. The thing you got to remember is that this is kind of like the Swiss Army knife of home arcades. It does everything, and that's what one of the things that makes the Legends Ultimate pretty much a must-have in your arcade. You can do so much with it. You know, you can play CoinOps on it. You can play the stock games on it. You can connect it to a computer, and you can use just the controls and screen with a computer. So much you can do with it. It has good controls. It has a good monitor. And for a system that, I bought 3 years ago, I mean, it's still pretty current. I mean, people are like, oh, AtGames isn't doing much. Well, they don't have to do much because they have an awesome system to begin with. I mean, they're really just at this point refining what they have. I feel like I've gotten a ton of value out of the Legends Ultimate Arcade. I can play thousands of arcade games on it. I can play 300 stock games on it with some really good arcade titles, games I like, some old school ones like Asteroids, Millipede, Missile Command, Centipede, Tron. There's just a ton of different types of games on the machine. And I don't think it really gets the love that it deserves. It's not trying to be or look like a classic arcade game. It's just basically an open platform where you can put your games and play them. And for what it is, it does it great. As a matter of fact, if you look, I have 2 of them. So I mean, I totally believe in this product. I play it all the time, and it's just a great product. It just works. And that's one of the great things about the Legends Ultimate. Some other things I like, they have a bit pixel display. You can get a special marquee, which uses LEDs to change the marquee with the game. They now have a bit pixel LCD as well, which will allow you to change the marquee with a very high level LCD display too, which is awesome. The AtGames Legends Ultimate does come with 300 licensed arcade games built in. You've got a nice mix of arcade games in there. You've got some bangers like Asteroids, Millipede, Missile Command, Space Invaders. I will say that the Space Invaders they have is very it's bare bones. I mean, if you're gonna for me, I have an iiRcade, so I'm playing Space Invaders. I'm playing on the iiRcade. It's the best version of Space Invaders ever brought home. But it's on the Legends Ultimate if you want to play it. They have Burger Time, Centipede, Fix It Felix Jr., Tetris, Tron. I mean, there's just a ton of good games. Plus, you can add game packs. Like I added the Activision game pack. I added a bunch of Atari games to my machine. It's up, and that's one of the cool things. It's upgradable. You can buy packs and add even more games to it, which will just load when you turn the machine on. Um, so 300 games on it from the get-go, with the ability to add more or even bring your own games. And the bringing your own games is where you're going to get thousands of arcade games. Pretty much, it plays them all. Does it play them all perfectly? No. Some of the games, quite a few, have emulation issues. But if you're not hyper picky, like I'm pretty picky on my arcade games because I just want them to be perfect. But if you're not real critical, most of them it plays very well. The sound is kind of medium. I'd say it's as good as any arcade one up. It's not going to touch an iiRcade, that's for sure. But it's okay. It's adequate sound. For the average person, they're going to be happy with the sound. Until you hear something like an iiRcade, you don't realize that it's not that great. I mean, it's good. It's the sound on the AtGames Legends Ultimate is acceptable, but it's not great like the iiRcade. The monitor is very good on the Legends Ultimate Arcade. It's a 24-inch high-definition LCD monitor. It is letterbox, but they put bezels on, and that makes it totally acceptable to have that type of screen. Works well. The speakers are in stereo. I'd say the art is kind of a weak point of the arcade. You can see on my main Legends Ultimate, I actually took and made it all black. I just prefer that look. My 1.0, I pretty much kept it with the stock art. But art to me, it's not really great. I mean, I don't really like it that much on the Legends Ultimate. It's all right. It gives you a lot of options when you're playing games. You can pause, rewind. You have save and load functionalities. Machine tracks your high scores. You can change the aspect ratios of the games with the screen to your preference. Always keep them in the original arcade aspect ratios, but options, options, options. And that's one of the good things about the Legends Arcade, Ultimate Legends. The Legends Ultimate Arcade, you can do a lot. They give you a lot of options. You can pause games. You can save and load games. It has save states. The machine tracks your high scores. You can change the aspect ratios, which I would never do, but you can. Like if you want the screen stretched, you can do that. Options are always good. The Legends Ultimate is a very open arcade platform. Another cool thing you can do with this, you can actually just use it as a screen. It has HDMI in. You can press a button. You can use the AtGames Legends screen with anything. You want to play your NES Mini on it, just connect it, hit a button, and boom, you're off. They have a lot of cool accessories. They have the BitPixel LED, which I have on both of my machines. I really like it. Some people say it looks like a light bright, but I love it. It looks like a Las Vegas sign, and I like that the marquees change with the games as they play them. Now they have the BitPixel LED, LCD, I'm sorry, which is even higher quality. It's actually a screen. So they have a screen marquee that you can connect to your stock Legends Ultimate, and the marquees will change with the game. And that's a unique feature. Only AtGames has that. And they make it as easy as it can be to do something like that. With a super powerful open platform like the AtGames, You're gonna have to be willing to do a little bit of work to get all these features to work, but it's time that's well worth it. I mean, I can literally play thousands of games on my AtGames Legends Ultimate. Options are good. Other options, they have a 4-player control panel, which is full sized. So you're not, if you really want to play games with 4 players, they have a new control panel, which is a full size 4-player arcade panel, which you can put on the Legends Ultimate Arcade. Another good thing about AtGames, they've been very good about not leaving anyone behind. Even with me having the Legends Ultimate 1.0, they've pretty much made all the features available to even my original cab. Um, having 2 AtGames Legends Ultimates, I mean, I can pretty much do anything that they offer right now, and I don't regret buying a second Legends Ultimate. What the Legends Ultimate could do better? Well, the interface is very intimidating. I mean, I am so used to it. I know it like the back of my hand. I've had the Legends Ultimate arcades now for 3 years, so I'm very comfortable using it. I kind of know where everything's at. It's so powerful and it's so open that a lot of people initially are intimidated with the amount of options, the amount of games, the amount of controls, you know, the different categories, bring your own game. There's just a lot of tabs to go through. And I don't know if there's an easy way to make it easy and keep it so powerful. And given the choice, I say keep it powerful with a lot of options. And that's what this thing does. I mean, it's an open platform. Another room for improvement with the Legends Ultimate Arcade is the look. Overall, the look doesn't bother me. I mean, it's a multicade, but for some people, it doesn't really have the look of any single classic arcade. I actually like that it's very low profile. You can stick it against the wall, it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it just functions really well. With my main Legends Ultimate Arcade, I blacked it out. I got rid of all the art on my main one. The art was you could stick it on. It was like it just basically used screws to hold on. I never put on the side art. I flipped over the front panel. So basically, my Legends Ultimate Arcade is all black. My original one, I left it stock. It has some artwork that goes with some of the stock games on it, and I don't love it, especially all the game logos on the front panel. But it's not terrible either. I mean, it's not the worst. That was kind of in style when the 1.0 Legends Ultimate came out. They were competing with Arcade 1-Up. They put all the logos on the front panel of the machine. Feel like AtGames was just following the current trend. But given a choice, I prefer it all black. Just black that mug out because it's a multicade. It does not have to have graphics from any arcade specific machine on it. Because I'm going to play thousands of games on it. I don't need it to look like any one game. So, should you get an AtGames Legends Ultimate Arcade? I would say definitely. If you don't have one and you're into home arcade, it's one of the best machines. It's got, bring your own games. You can put thousands of games on it. I mean, you can play all kinds of stuff. Commodore 64, Atari, NES, Super Nintendo. You can play Genesis games. You can play Sega CD games on it. I mean, if you're willing to dig in and learn how the emulation works, you literally can play thousands and thousands and thousands of games on the Legends Ultimate Arcade. You've got good quality controls. I think everyone, if you have a well-equipped home arcade, you need to have one good multicade. Certainly, the Legends Ultimate is an excellent choice. I do like the AtGames Legends Ultimate Arcade. I have 2 of them. If I was going to rate it on a scale of 1 out of 10, I would rate it a 9 out of 10. It gets the 9 because of the power that it has. It gets the 9 because the fact that in the 3 years I've had it, they've just continued upgrading it and refining it. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, AtGames isn't doing a lot." Well, they don't have to do a lot. I mean, they pretty much got the machine that they have they got it close to perfect. It's very refined at this point. There's very little they have to do to it. It plays all the games I want it to play. The main thing they need to do is not break the features that they have working now. And I would say 9 out of 10. The reason why it doesn't get a 10 out of 10 is here are the reasons. Interface is not easy for beginners to use. 1. 2, the artwork. On one of mine, I was able to make it all black, which I love. And if it came that way, that's how I would prefer it. But the artwork is a negative to me. It's not needed. I mean, I just prefer my multicade to be all black, and I don't think most people love the artwork. It's all right, and it is a multicade. It doesn't need to be themed to a specific game. Other negatives, I really can't think of any. I mean, it's a good, solid, bring your own game, open platform. And I can't think of any reason, if you're really into home arcades, I can't think of any reason you would not have an AtGames Legends Ultimate. It's, bang for buck, what you get for your money, you can't go wrong with the AtGames Legends Ultimate Arcade. And I get put in a box a lot as being the iiRcade guy, but I'll tell you this, I play my AtGames Legends Ultimate all the time. I love it. It's got a lot of great games. I mean, I play Robotron on it pretty much all the time. I mean, one of my machines pretty much always has Robotron running when I set my arcade on. And if you're looking for a great multicade, or you have a lot of other arcades, whether they're arcade one-ups or whether it's iiRcades, I would say definitely an AtGames Legends Ultimate is a good addition to any home arcade. I'd highly recommend it. And that concludes my review of the Legends Ultimate Arcade. 9 out of 10, a strong rating. Definitely an arcade that most people should have. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Doesn't cost anything to do that. Consider subscribing to the channel if you like home arcade content, as I'll be covering more home arcade content from all the companies. Thank you for watching. This is Papa Brad reminding you to stay legit.